So one thing about doing this is that you get emails from folk asking to advertise stuff, and a lot of them are bogus. Like, a lot of them are just bogus. They don't come from official emails or whatever. So you can kind of tell. I got one the other day for like, we'd love to partner with you for water. Water? How do you advertise water from like one room? Like, water keeps you alive. Like, water, you'll die if you don't. I don't. Anyway, there was your free advert. Hello, wonderful humans of the internet, how are we? My name is Sam Scott-Thorne and I am a vocal coach based in Glasgow. Now, if you'd like to meet and explore your voice a little more, you can find me on sstvocals.com. You can also find me on Patreon and various other social media platforms, and I'll put the handles down below and over there. Over there. Short and sweet, easy. Oh God, I just turned around and David Attenborough was like staring at me. I've got a tiny, tiny David in this plant. See? Teeny. I'll put him here. Don't know if you can see him. Anyway, not the point. Now, if you'd like to consider becoming a patron, you have access to things like early release of reactions, you can fast track reactions, become a reaction, there's special roles on my Discord server, and you have access to all sorts of bonus content, like my Vocal Anatomy 101 series, where we get sciencey and talk about how the voice works. So consider becoming a patron and help shape my channel. Okay, I just did a reaction to JK doing Standing Next to You, and I said in that video that Jin hadn't done anything. Mistake. I have been thoroughly corrected in the comments to say that Jin did a song called The Astronaut with Coldplay before he went to do military service. So let's go and check that out. I've got a live version in Buenos Aires, so we're going to go and listen to that and see what we think. I am turning this down because I know that it'll be screaming like mad to begin with, and then I'll turn it up. I'm starting to work this out. Let's go. Screaming. I like his hair. Okay, I can hardly hear him for the crowd screaming. But what we can hear so far is a very gentle start. There's a bit more aspirate tone, that's air coming through the vocal folds. Ah, you can kind of hear the column of air with the tone, and it just softens everything down, makes it a lot more misty and kind of delicious. It sounds like it's double tracked or there's a backing singer in there somewhere, so we'll figure that out as we go along. But so far, gorgeous. Okay, it is double tracked. There is a track behind him or in front of him. At parts it feels louder than him, so I'm gonna have to try and work out which one is live Jin and which one is track Jin, because they're both really good. Pitch is on point, so I can't tell. But one of them is going for a more nasal tone, so kind of sound. That's where the velum will come and meet your tongue and close off the oral passage, so the noise or the tone is purely coming through your nose. You can then lift it slightly and get a tiny bit going through each channel, and I feel like that's where he is at. It's very pressed sounding, it's really nice and condensed. But then there's the other one, which is the aspirate tone, so you can really hear the difference in those two. That's why it's jumping out to me. So whichever one he's doing live is fabulous. I like it. That was lovely. I get heaven to myself when I'm with you. There is no.                                                                                     I love that. No. frog in my throat, but really, really pretty. There's a flip from your chest voice into your head voice. Now, because he has that nasalized sound kind of pressed in, when he jumps onto that kind of airy head voice, it gives such a change of like feel and direction. So you get this lovely kind of really gentle and just almost like letting something go. Like, I don't want to say like a dove, but like, you know, like Avatar, when they let go of the things and they fly up. Maybe I'm making that up in my head, but I hope you know what I mean. Kind of just releasing something into the atmosphere. Oh, it's a bit an astronaut. That makes sense in my mind. If I was doing the sound on this concert, I would take his track down and I would put his live vocal up. He sounds really, really good. I want to hear more of him, less of the track. Let's keep going. I feel this way I never felt. Is Chris Martin harmonizing in Korean? Is that happening right now? Or am I just mishearing it and he's singing in English? What's going on? Let me know in the comments, because I didn't pick any of that up. The verses here are really nice. They're very, very simple. It's like you're being spoken to almost. There's no tilt in his voice, so you're not getting any vibrato out of it. You're just getting this really lovely, well-delivered message. He's a likeable wee guy, isn't he, Jin? Just, I don't know, he radiates niceness. Okay, so we got a little bit of texture. Nah, that was like arytenoid rattle. So your arytenoids, for want of a better term, will kind of open and close your vocal folds. They're at the ends of them, and you can rattle them together and get kind of sound. He's doing a really gentle version of that. Could be doing it with his false vocal folds. I don't know. I mean, they make similar textured sounds. But if I was to guess, that's where I would go. There's a little bit of lower larynx work coming through here. So if you lower your larynx, you get a richer, deeper, kind of more grounded sound. And he's kind of going into that in points. So you get da-da, 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 da-da. He's letting his voice kind of float around between a mid and a low place. Like an astronaut. I'm going to see how many like space things I can tie in. I'm not going to do that. And it looks like Chris Martin might just be doing oohs and ahs, so I could be wrong that Chris Martin knows Korean. I never said that he could. Anyway, let's keep going. That's really cool. I like that. Da, 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 da. You get that rundown of the larynx height through that little phrasing there. Now, I know I kind of hearken things back to other things, but that ba-da-da reminds me of Crowded House, Fall at Your Feet. Whenever I fall at your feet. But it reminds me of that song, that little bit, the chorus, and I love that song. So instantly, I'm just like, yes, more please, more. Yum, yum, yum. Let's keep going. Chris Martin's microphone is turned way down here. I had to like really tune in to hear him, and he was kind of not belting, but making a very loud noise. That was full chest voice he was singing that in, or a mix even. But what I'm trying to say is a fully phonated loud sound. And Jin wasn't giving it the big I am. He wasn't belting or anything. And the balance was, ooh. So yeah, this is clearly they've now kind of pumped Jin's vocal up so that he can be heard over everything else. Good call. I made that call ages ago. I'm glad they're doing it now. See, now he's going into this kind of mixy belt place, so that da is now full. It's really projected, it's bigger, it's stronger, adding intensity to the emotion of the sound. I like this. That's a really healthy, natural build, and it sounds really good. One thing Jin does with his high notes, he leans down into them. I've said this before, I think it's quite a clever way of influencing you not to tip your head all the way up, because that can actually stifle high notes. The higher you go, you want to be thinking down, essentially, and the lower you want your voice to go, you want to be thinking up. It's one of these weird kind of head games. If you think high, you kind of end up not attaining as high as you would want to go. Likewise, if you go low, you end up kind of flattening out into this fry place, rather than keeping it bright. And then that big chanty sound that Chris Martin does was really loud, so I don't know whether that's a track now. I don't know. I can't keep up. I can't help it to myself when I'm with you. There is no one else. Oh, I like that. Lovely keychains. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Not the first thing I did. That was horrendously out of tune. Do you know what I really like about Jin is that he is just really steady. He's a safe pair of hands, and he holds notes. Like, he's not fully into his like crazy riffs. He doesn't go for like agility so much, from what I've heard. Everything's like this lovely clean sound, and it's so consistent, and the pitch is held really, really well. I think it's like a dying art in pop music. It's just like, let a note be a note. You don't have to riff on everything. And he is a prime example of how nice that works. It's simplicity, and simplicity when you're trying to carry a message is key, and it's getting through. Well, to me anyway. Look at how much fun he's having. Like, he belongs on a stage. He lives there. He runs around. Chris Martin loves this guy. Like, he looks at him like a dad, like a proud dad. And that's my job. And no, it's fine. Chris, you can do it. It's fine. I don't know. I feel like as an audience member, you have more fun when you can see that the person is having fun. And I really don't like seeing people like perform when they don't want to be there. I have seen it, and it is it's just a downer. So this is just pure enjoyment. I love it. Look at the look he gives him. Oh, I like that. Oh, ho, 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 oh. That's breaking up that little kind of sequence of notes with an H sound or a cry sound on top of it, or between the notes even. Just adds a little bit of push, a little bit of emotional intensity, and it makes something just more interesting. I like it. What's going on here? Maybe my brain's just scrambled, but they seem to have done that in a really weird time signature. But that's probably why they're looking at each other so intensely. Maybe something was going down that I was not aware of. That's a skill that you have got to have as a singer, especially if you're singing with other people, is like an intuitive sense of what is going to happen or what a person is expecting from you. Sometimes you only have time to like look at people and work out what it is they're gonna do or want you to do. And clearly they work really well together because that was totally in sync, so maybe it's just my brain. I spoke too soon. I think this is what it is. I think it's being played in a time signature that if the beat is gone, it's really hard to follow. So everything I said there still stands, but I am not surprised that that happened because I was confused. And I've never heard this song, so that might be one reason that I'm more confused than they were. But yeah, vindicated. A little bit of a cry on the end there.
Gracias, Argentina.
Oh,
thank you, Johnny, Will, Guy, and Chris. 그리고 사랑합니다, 미 여러분들.
Bye, Jen. The humbleness, is that a word that he possesses, is just insane. He's just sung to like thousands of people and he's like, okay, thanks. Bye. I love it. A pop star on stage and also just a wee humble guy still on stage. That was lovely. That was really good. I'm looking forward to hearing more of what he comes out with because he's going to be the first one out of military service. So I wait with bated breath. And I hope you enjoyed that one. Jin gets, the least attention, at least from where I stand, especially when I'm listening to the songs. I don't get as much of a chance to hear him because he doesn't have as many like lines, or the stuff that he does is like a support kind of role. So it's nice to hear him in the front, giving it big licks and taking the space that he rightly deserves. And I hope you enjoyed that reaction. If you did, please give it a like and a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and anytime I have new content, you will be the first to know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me. And how are we going to buy this one? I don't know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me. And if you watched and like this, hit subscribe or I will come to your house and I will tell you off, and I'll tell people that you're not very kind. Anyway, love you, bye.